recargando. ¡Ajá!
Crocum chokum. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year and happy holidays. For those of you who had happy holidays, those of you who didn't, let's try to make them happier. New Year, New Year's resolutions and all that other stuff. Come on, people. Don't be that dude. They got all that stuff written down, what you're going to do, and then quit by February 13th. No, just no. Let's actually be productive. Say you're going to do some things and actually do those things that you said you was going to do. I'm one of those people. It ain't got nothing to do with New Year's. I'm gonna make some changes. I'm gonna turn my body into American Gladiator. I'm telling you, I'm already looking slim and trim, but I'm about to turn into a damn near gladiator. If I can do it at 43 years old, trust me, so can you. Welcome to Village Aurora 9. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for those who are gonna come late. But hell, I was 2 minutes late, but now I was well prepared. Been a while. I've been out the YouTube streets, been managing some other things, taking a little vacations, doing a lot of stuff. But guess what? I'm back. We're gonna have some productive conversations. 2024, productive topics. They're gonna be communication based. Some are gonna be leadership based. Sometimes I'm gonna press some buttons. Today I might press a couple buttons. No promises. We'll see what happens. But anyway, today's topic is this word that keeps getting thrown around here. Some people do it for ego. Some people do it because they're looking for actual answers, looking for better conversations. Some people is just talking. But it's a very important word. It's called leadership. I'm not going to define it for you because in your mind, you have your definition of what leadership is. You have what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you're doing, what you're trying to do, who it is that you're rocking with, who you're actually following, who you've been following before, how you expect people to follow, how you expect people to lead. You have your own definition. So I'm actually going to leave it there for today. But today's main question, can you lead without? What actually do you need to lead? You need money? Do you need a lot of women? You need to be able to talk good, smell good, look good? Because there's a lot of comments like you can still be a leader with it. Like, what is an effective leader? How do you judge leadership? How do you personally judge the person that you're going to follow? Then are you asking for a leader or to be a leader that's different than the one that you're already following now? Have you been following leaders in the past that have done something totally opposite to what it is that you actually say that you're going to do to be an effective leader? And if so, why do you lead one way, but you want the leader that you're following to lead you in another way? Why is that? Welcome, My Reed, Tro Illuminati, Just Jay, welcome. Village Aurora 9, Easy Money Jones, welcome to the chat. Just Jay, I can't see you. Unblock me. I can't see you, so I can't pull up and highlight your comments because you might actually make some good ones. But welcome, everybody. We're going to have a discussion. It ain't going to be that long. It's just going to be fairly simple. And in the chat, please take the chance to participate. Trolls are welcome. Troll Illuminati for life. But bring to the stage. I would call this person an actual leader, but that's because I know some of the things that person that he is and some of the things that he does. We'll bring him onto the stage. We're going to have a little discussion. And I might drop the link in a little bit, but some of y'all I sent the link to, so feel free to pull up and join in some of this conversation. Welcome to the stage, Sophisticated Jerk.
Going on, man.
I don't get paid, so I don't got all the soundboards with all of them, so I just got to get it.
Yeah, keep it simple, man. That's what I do. I ain't got time for all the sound effects.
That's what you get for the crowd. That's what you get.
So where you been, man?
All right. I've been around. Been still trolling, dusting, crusting. Probably spending
getting back to the panels, enjoying your vacations. I heard about your New Year resolutions, man. You said you about to get in gladiator mode, huh?
Yeah, my shape is gonna be insane. I already dropped a lot of pounds, and running and all that. And we in Florida. We get sunlight.
Oh yeah. You gotta be in.
We're not dealing with that snow. No, we're not dealing with that. I fought my way through them horrible DC days, Atlanta, Maryland during COVID. No, we're doing sunlight. That's all we're doing for the rest of life. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get you down here in a couple of years. If you come to Florida,
Yeah,
you're not leaving.
no
No
doubt,
state
no doubt.
taxes. No state taxes, people. No state taxes coming out your wages. But yeah, just introductory. What's your definition of leadership?
Man, that's a good question.
And you can be vague, opinionated, just say it however fit.
Well, I think it's somebody that
Or a leader
I
or leadership, either or.
yeah, okay. So just a general definition, I would say somebody that takes like a charge, accountability over others, that kind of provides the direction, the guidance. But I do think like, even though the definition is pretty vague, I think we've got to start breaking, especially when we're talking about relationships, the difference between good and bad leadership.
Mm. So leaders can be good and bad.
Oh, absolutely. Because most of the time when you hear dudes talking in this space is bad leadership.
Oh. Can a leadership be, when you say good and bad, can you be an effective bad leader and can you be an effective good leader? Can you be both? Or are there both?
I think you can be an effective bad leader depending on like, say, for example, we both was in the military. So you
Okay.
could kind of be authoritative in that situation because, they got the infrastructure, they got the article, what was it, 15 and stuff. So
Article
it's just like,
15.
if you don't own a baby, then you pretty much, you could threaten somebody with like jail and stuff like that. So had a lot of bad leaders, but we still got the job done because we understood what we was signing up for. We understood like the commitment, the oath that you took. But when it comes to relationships, I don't think a bad leadership is effective.
I say that because when I say effective bad leaders, you can be effective. People are willing to follow you and you're leading them into a ditch. And they voluntarily follow this person. That's their person they're rocking with. It's going in the gutter, but they're rocking with. I mean, my perfect example I use is Adolf Hitler. Was he a leader? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have leadership qualities? Was his leadership through the roof? But was he good? No. I think he was effective, though. What do you think?
Well, I don't think I use the word effective. you know what I'm saying?
He
Like
had
you
them
said, he
people
definitely was a
lined
leader.
up
So like he
on
was in
time.
charge. What was that?
He had them people lined up. They were on time. They were rocking. It was tattooing, and they were on board with the mission. They were.
No, absolutely. But I mean, he at first, he used some influence, but then, it had to, it was more or less like fear, force, and then eventually, when it all collapsed, he set the country back like 30 years. So that's what I'm saying. The like fallout and the repercussions from that the type of leadership styles, I wouldn't say effective. But I get what you're saying. Like definitely he had stuff on lock. You know what I'm saying?
Question. Let's start with the easy stuff. Then I'm gonna get to the more confusing stuff. In chat, you're welcome to participate. Can you lead without money? Welcome, Tez. I see you out there. I see you, Tez. You can lead without money.
Absolutely.
Can you lead without a position? Meaning position.
You can lead without a position.
Title.
Yeah, you can lead without a position.
Okay, what's that look like?
So say like man, I was just actually watching that movie. It was the remake of the movie Alive when the people got trapped on the mountaintops and then they had to start, they were stuck out there for I forgot how long. It was about like 4 or 5 months in freezing cold temperature. And then, people started kind of like, I would say start taking roles and stuff, but there was definitely people that started stepping up to the leadership roles where it's like, hey, we need to start doing this. They start tasking people, delegating roles and duties to everybody. So like in that case, everybody was just on a plane and it crashed. Nobody was like, hey, this is our leader over here. But everybody started kind of like who had that capabilities, the characteristics started stepping up in that situation. You know, this was like based on a true story. So I think in those like survival situations, some people are going to start stepping up. And I also think like, I'll say like if you had like a group assignment, sometimes when they're just like, hey, you guys figure it up, get it done in school, you know, somebody sometimes is going to step up like, hey, okay, everybody's disorganized. Here's these tasks. You know, everybody, I'll do this, I'll do this. You start delineating roles to a certain degree, but you don't have no position of authority or anything.
Would you say survival mode versus choice are two different situations where leadership may or may not be exposed? What do you think?
You said survival mode and what was the other one?
Choice.
Choice.
Things being bad and it's crisis time and things have to be done, survival mode. But everybody has enough food, air, water, money, rims, cars. Two different situations.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, because in the survival mode, it's like, man, you waiting for the bare necessities. So you know you're gonna kind of file in line because you you know it's like what's the three elements: food, water, shelter. You know, so everybody needs that. So if that's like missing, you're gonna kind of fall in line more. But like you said, when everybody's like, you know, living in abundance, they got all the resources and stuff. That's when you could tend to be pickier. You know, you could be like, nah, I don't like that leadership style. I could, you know. You could definitely walk away from some stuff and you'll still be whole. So you don't have that, like, I say pressure of like the duress mindset that, you know, you got to attach to somebody before the basic necessities.
Got you. I'm going to post a link. I would actually prefer women's. If you'd like to come up, you can. I prefer men's.
You said the women's?
Yeah, but if you have something to contribute, anybody can come up as long as it's productive. This is a dust-free night, unless I push some buttons. Then dust it's on. It is what it is. I'm going light. I'm gonna start picking it up later on in the year.
So what's your position on that? So you think there's definitely two different, would you say, I'll say leadership styles on when somebody's in like a survival mode versus, like you said, when everybody's living in abundance?
I like to use that example to show something. I'm sure some of y'all who listen to me or listen to the spaces or listen to conversations when it comes to relationship, y'all know where it goes. If a woman or a man or children are in survival mode, they're family wise, women and children, if they're in survival mode and they're forced to make a decision to follow and they're conditioned to do as is said, they're going to make the decision to survive. But once they come out of that mode and they actually have the option to choose, they may choose something different. And it'll get deeper of why did they choose something other than the leader that was presented. And that leader had every opportunity to actually become that actual force of leadership. So what happened? Why did your 15-year-old son decide to follow something, or your uncle or them people out there, not you? Why did your spouse decide, this relationship been going so well, but I think I'm gonna kind of do something different? Well, like in my own self, I had failed relationships. They chose something different. I go look back at myself like, what was it that I didn't have, or what was it that I did? Why they chose, or the behavior or whatever wasn't going in the direction that I was planning. And they had a choice. But I can say, well, if it was 1852, I could put them in this situation. Yeah, that's cool and all, but why are they choosing to go elsewhere? I'm just saying.
So what you're saying, you pretty much had to do some self-reflection?
Self-reflection. Go back to a lot of leadership books I read in my 20s. Some of the stuff started actually clicking and making sense. Because some stuff I read about leadership sounded good, looked it good, but it wasn't in those roles. In the 30s, and then coming to supervisor, then there's other stuff, conversations with regular people. I realized, oh, that's what that means. Oh, that's why. Oh, they talk about your vision, and when a person outgrows your vision, you can no longer, oh, that's what that means. That's why they were talking about this. Oh, okay. It started clicking. But I know you're married. You have children. Well, A child, right? Just one.
Yeah, just one. Don't be trying to pin too many on me, Dustle.
And I know you've been in management for how many years? Just curious.
For about probably 20 years.
Oh, 20 years. So you've
See the
seen
grades coming in and stuff.
you've seen just not just people, but even subordinate leaders come and go,
Oh,
or
absolutely. Yeah.
choose elsewhere, or people stay for whatever reasons. I'm rocking with this person in this organization. You've seen this.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have to have a family structure? Because they say a lot of times you got to be, if you ain't married, if you ain't in a relationship, if you don't got kids, you shouldn't be talking about parent and kid. Can you lead? Do you have to be a parent or do you have to be a spouse to be able to lead in relationships?
Nah. There's different forms of like relationships. I think if you're committed to somebody, whatever that looks like, I got a bunch of friends that got like structure, great leadership, and they're not married. They choose not to. So that's part of the, like you said, the communication aspect. I know you talk about it a lot. You emphasize on that where you sit down with somebody, you outline like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is, how we're gonna develop our structure and stuff. So you don't have to be married or you don't have to have kids to, have leadership in I'll say relationship.
As far as those matters, speaking on children, relationships, you say you don't have to have that title and you can still be a leader.
Oh, absolutely. I
But
mean, you don't even have to be in a relationship to have like leadership.
another one. Do you have to have fear and force to be a leader?
Nah, you don't. That's actually falls into the bad territory when it comes to relationships.
And
I
what
would
is
say.
considered, and how would you consider that bad?
Well, because I think if you use fear and force, first of all, I don't think you really love who you with if you got to go that route, with somebody. So that's more or less like I'll say what they call it, like a scarcity mindset, where you're pretty much with somebody that don't like you. So it's just at that point you're trying to force them to stay with you out of insecurities or whatever bad traits that you have.
What they say, people had to have consequences. So I'm wondering, can you lead without authority and consequences?
I mean, there's definitely consequences. So the consequences is not like you said, the force and stuff like that, but it's just like, hey, if for example, like I have a vision. So it's like if people don't fall in line with the vision, which is always like putting the household first, you know, making sure the family's moving in the right direction, trying to build that generational wealth, then at that point you separate from that person. But that's as far as it goes. Because like you said, I mean, when you're dealing with a whole nother adult, they have the choice to kind of leave at the end of the day. But it's like if you do got yourself together, it is an effective method if you're gonna leave, because people don't want to leave somebody that's good. So that's where I would say the little bit of the force could come, is this you leaving, that person at the end of the day.
Okay, meaning I use this as an example. I was a teacher, fourth grade one year. I was not your greatest teacher. I ain't gonna lie. I'll take y'all's favorite year, accountability. I wasn't the greatest. If I would have came back a second year, I would have came back better because now I know what this is. I mean, dust myself off and try again. But knowing what this is, I got hired 3 weeks before school started, and I studied secondary education, so I wasn't prepared. But I thought I was prior military, and I grew up different. So
I'm gonna give you
I
some
thought that
pushback on this after you're done.
you're gonna
I
give me some
disagree with you
pushback.
already.
I thought that coming in there strong, tall, and the man's voice and all this stuff is going to be effective because these kids need to see authority and they need this and they need, that's the effective way to lead. And this is kids, fourth grade. This was in the hood. And the principal told me otherwise, and some of the other teachers told me from the beginning of the year otherwise. And to be honest, all the education training, a lot of that teaches you otherwise. And I remember they had me shadow 2 or 3 different classrooms. The teacher of the year was about 5'1". She was a female. Been in the game maybe 10 years. Married, had kids at home. Walk in her classroom, it's absolutely silent. She wouldn't raise her voice no more than this. 5th grade also had like 28 to 30 kids in each classroom. We only had like 22. And I never heard any threats. I didn't hear any, if you don't do the boy, I'm gonna. I didn't hear it. Actually, I really didn't hear anything. Just her walk by, tap her desk and say, hey, put it right there. It's not time yet. Move. 3 more minutes. I don't see you writing. That's all I would hear. Principal told me in months, like she's never sent anybody down to the office and called all the parents. She didn't do any of that. So there was no big emphasis on consequences, but she was very effective and the students loved her. She had a good relationship with the students. So I'm just curious. I want to hear this pushback. What you got?
So first of all, let me ask you a question. Why didn't you return back for the second year?
They were cutting teachers. This is 2010.
Okay.
2011. They were cutting funding. There were 2 new teachers, me and somebody else, and they were cutting 4 teachers. Doing the math, I don't have no job no way. So if you put in your resignation, which makes it easier for them to do the paperwork, they had a $500 bonus, which is better than 0. Knowing I was going to be out of a job anyway, 500 is better than 0. I took that 500 and I was out.
But technically, you could have went and found another school that you could have taught at, right?
If they're cutting, the other districts are cutting. So there's even more scrambling people looking for work. It wasn't 2023. Right now, they're begging for teachers. But 2010, no.
Oh, okay.
2 years after 2008, all the people with no jobs ran into education. And then there were people graduating, scrambling to get into education. So the only need was high school math and science, bilingual, and some other stuff that I wasn't at the time. So I wasn't gonna have no job. And Texas is very competitive because they actually pay their teachers.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, here's my pushback.
All right.
I mean, I don't think whenever you step into a role, man, you're never going to be perfect because you got to go through that phase of like, I have to figure myself out. I have to figure out, the role I'm taking on. Then when you're dealing with kids, that's a whole nother tricky thing. But the fact that you were able to have the awareness and the understanding to like pull away from the situation and not go back into the lane, understanding like, like you said, the force that you might have. And I know you said like, hey, if you had a second year, you probably would have done things different. So you kind of self-reflected but you realize that might not be your lane. And I think sometimes that's a part of leadership, like understanding like there's certain people like I can't manage. So, that's part of the selection process. I think that's a part of leadership. Nobody talks about like, hey, or where we mentioned with relationships, vetting somebody. So with you, it's like you're able to see like, hey, I might not be the best person for this job teaching these kids. And I think that's better than anything because, you could get that bad teacher coming back each year that might not like kids that, they just want that paycheck. So I think a lot of times it's big for people to like understand like, hey, I don't have the temperament for this. Let me stay away that so the right person could come into that lane and do the job.
Yeah. How can I explain it? Every leader's not effective everywhere. And you put your ego aside. You can lose. You can get burned. Even the best coaches lose games, lose seasons. Sometimes have full out losing records. So sometimes it doesn't make you all the way bad, but you measure effectiveness also based on what you are and what you were able to accomplish with what you had. I just straight up say, hey, I wasn't your best teacher. Failed. No ego, no whatever. And I see there's not all these the Ron Clark stories where somebody comes in the first year and takes over the school. That's not realistic. Or Joe Clark and lean on me. No. Most of your teacher of the years, they've been there a while, 5-10 years, and they put a lot into it. So even in relationships, people who are married, they didn't get it right the first time. Did you get it right the first time? First woman you ever looked at just got on your program?
Not at all.
The first, you didn't just swing and just hit home base?
Mm-mm.
Or in the marriage, all you did was show up and everything just fell right into place, right?
Hell no.
Oh, I know what it is. Parenting. The kids popped out, and soon as they came out, you knew everything there was to know, and you just got it together. And they fell in
Not
love.
at all. Not at all.
So yeah, there is some grace as far as for losing, but effectiveness is the measurement. Like at the end of the day, are you effective? That's like the gauge for leadership.
No, I agree. Like you can measure that like that situation, but the fact that you're up here holding a panel about leadership, trying to express to people, and I see you go on other panels, like, look, this you're giving pushback. That's what I'm saying. All these things, man, it's like I'll say a cycle, like life is. So it's like, man, you take them losses up early, but you mentioned some things like, hey, I humbled myself. I did some self-reflection. So like you said, that might not be your niche of like who you need to talk to and have those leadership skills with, but you know, by you coming on these panels, I know we talked before, you know, you have nieces and nephews and stuff. So you're passing on wisdom to other people. So that's what I'm saying. Like I had to give you some pushback because I just know how you're built. So
Yeah,
I think that's like overall, you're reaching different audiences. I don't think it always has to be pinpointed to that. Like you said, you're not gonna be good at everything, but that's when you humble yourself, and leadership is okay. I could have impact over here. I'm not the best person to be talking to like younger kids. I could talk to maybe younger men at that point. So you disagree with that?
Yeah, I agree. You got to find your lane. I mean, basketball coaches don't coach football. Coaching is coaching. There's some things you can do effective, but their lane might be basketball. Or some are better in college than they are in the pros. Some are better at the high school level. Just like, was it Urban Meyer, the Ohio State guy? Stayed in coaching college forever. He never went to the pros. They probably offered him big money. I always wanted him, but he's like, you know what? This is my lane, Ohio State. And Ohio State always is somewhere to be reckoned with, like top 10, like every year.
Yeah, absolutely.
That could be his lane. Yeah. But it just doesn't mean because one person ain't listening, don't mean you're not a leader. Not me, I'm a free agent. I'm just some kind of influencer off to the side, like troll, facilitate, whatever, and let people do what they do. I don't want the full responsibility. Don't put nothing to my name. I like to just say I'm a troll. I'll just stay with troll. Because when y'all go out here and mess up, don't come blaming me. I think, does a leader have to be competent in the thing that he's actually leading?
A good leader, yes, it needs to be competent. Going back, that's why I said there's got to be a delineation, because I mean, there's bad leaders, they ain't competent at nothing, but like you said, they might get the position, they could get a title, and they'll start leading stuff, but it's not going to go in the right direction. So good leaders, yes. Bad leaders, they tend not to be competent. That's why a lot of things fail.
Well, meaning if I'm coaching soccer, do I have to be competent in soccer to be able to coach soccer? Do I have to be competent in the area of what it is that I'm coaching people to do? Do I have to be an expert?
There's levels to stuff. So if you're coaching, I'll say like some preschoolers where you just need to get them on the field to run. No, you don't need to be an expert. You're like, look, kick the ball, run this way, and then they have fun. But you talk about like you coaching the U.S. men's soccer team. Yeah, you're gonna have like some experience or coached before. You know, you're gonna have some level of competency. You might not need to be like a former professional soccer player, but you got to understand like the plays and things of that nature. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a little levels to that.
Okay, because one thing I say is you can be the best player and not the best coach. You can be the best coach but not the best player. There's a lot of your best coaches. A lot of them did play. This is a good comment.
Yeah, I saw that.
Be a good master, you must first be a good servant. Chris, I think I know who you are. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you.
What's good, Chris?
If you're going to teach people how to follow, you should probably have followed yourself. And I agree that you should be more committed to the cause. That's why I always say in a lot of these conversations, leadership is a submissive position. submitting to a higher power so hard that the people who are following you are willing to follow just as hard as you are, or somewhere close to it. You wake up first, you go to sleep last as a leader. That's just my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, you tell me what you think.
No, absolutely. I mean, just even in, like you said, business sense, I mean, typically it's a progression. I was just having this conversation with Manic earlier. I was like, look, most of the time people should take this role first, because I was mapping it out. We're in the same career field. We were talking about that even with you yesterday, where it's just like you take this role and then you take this next role. But most people want to kind of jump and skip steps. And that's when they end up getting in trouble, because they didn't touch all these different aspects, where it's like leading people, like doing the performance evaluations, maybe then next phase you get on budgeting. But like I said, when they start skipping them steps and they start getting all that pressure, that's when they start cracking. So like you said, sometimes you do have to go in those roles. Like you said, start being a follower, and then you start gradually building yourself up, getting that mentorship throughout that process.
Yeah, I personally learned a lot from the dirty work. And I got an uncle, one of my leaders, somebody who was there in my life. I actually followed him more on the grind than I do now, just to be honest. But he was doing a lot of the dirty work, doing a lot of the random stuff. And I was more bought into seeing the action into the vision. Candid Ann, welcome. Welcome, Candid Ann, to the show. Yeah, I love my people. But seeing some people, they want to skip stuff. They want to start at the top. They want to pick, no, I don't want to do that, man. I just want to, I just want to start right up here in my pay lane or comfortable. I want the big brown office chair. I want them to do all that. I ain't trying to do all that. And it's different when you actually have put your hands and feet and put your time somewhere. Even if it's 60 days, just being honest. Like, I can actually agree with that.
Okay.
Like in the military, you've seen a lot of people who were reserves or were enlisted first. A lot of those will be the best officers that you'll come across.
No, that's facts.
First, the ROTC guy. And they catch a lot of slack too. But even the E5s and E6s, for y'all who don't know a lot about military, officers usually take the college route. They go 4 years in college, they're 22, 23, and they go in the military and they start out as an officer. Versus an enlisted person goes 18, 19, 20. They go in E1, E2, and they go all the way from the bottom and work their way up. And it's kind of a conflict with you college boys took an easy route versus we did all the dirty work. But sometimes those who've done the dirty work and went the college route get more respect. Like,
yeah. And like you said, they know how to relate, to the enlisted staff. So it definitely makes sense.
Oh, I've met a few VPs and directors who didn't know anything. They were pushed up the chain because they went to an Ivy. Oh, yeah. So they had the title. They had something that shined and said, look at me. I got this. Went right to the top. I wonder how that worked out, or at least in the beginning.
Yeah, I was about to ask Easy, like, did they fail?
I will say this, though. If they did the work at Ivy, it is still doing work. It is still something versus my daddy runs the company. And I, came something, I can get that. But I wonder how the rest of that worked out, at least for a time being.
Yeah, he gonna have to pull up later. Give us that background on that.
Yeah, shout out to Easy Money Jones. He dropped some real. Y'all who missed the show when we did interviewing, that's a man who's interviewed over 1,000 people through his career. Had a lot to say about how the interview and selection process works. And Sophisticated Jerk next to me. That was a good show.
Yeah, Easy definitely got that background on that. But let me ask you a question. So as far as relationships,
okay,
how would you measure effective leadership?
Saving some of the good stuff. I'll spit some stuff. And of course, I don't know anything because I'm ugly and I can't get any ladies. I'm secretly ugly on the weekends. Effective leadership. They listen. They choose to follow. They do it with a smile on their face. and you actually are where they want to be, and you got them in the right direction. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
It's a lot
So
of stuff is
let me
overcome-
ask you. Let
Well,
me
it's
give you the
simple.
question that you asked me. Oh, I'm
It's
sorry. Go
simply,
ahead.
hold on. It's simply seen. Is it simply done? No, but it's simply seen. It's the simple things. They do what you
Okay.
need them to do. They choose to do the things that you need them to do, and they believe in you. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. So, do you think like you have to be married or have kids? Be in a leadership position in a relationship. Kind of the same question you was asking me. I definitely want to get your take on that, your input.
Put it this way: there are players who've never played. Technically, they come out of college. Calvin Johnson went to Georgia Tech. 3-4 years. He's 6'5", can jump 40-something inches off the ground. He's a mutated athlete, and he can run and he can catch the ball as a wide receiver. There's a reason they signed this man to a $50-60 million contract before he caught one pass. So you ask yourself, can somebody be an NFL superstar before they touch the NFL? But there's some other players who've been there 5-10 years. So they got the title. Man, I've been playing 10 years. I've been here 5 years. I was in NFL last year. Okay, yeah, that's cool and all. When the money come down to it, they could have checked and gave it to Calvin Johnson. And he did perform. So answer being, you'll find out when they put the jersey on.
Okay.
Does that kind of answer the question?
No, it does. It does. Okay. So you're saying you got to get in the pretty much the situation before you could even measure it.
Yeah, and you also have to be the person before you be the person.
Okay.
You got to have the skills or have the something grounded before you actually get out there. We don't send soldiers to war. They were a civilian yesterday in jogging pants and then put a uniform, push them up. You got to train them. You got to build them. But you have to have something before you go out there. I say, yes, you can be a leader without the title, without the experience, or without something, but you have to have something, and we'll find out what you are.
Okay. All right. So pretty much what you're saying is you're going to measure it by like the outcomes when you get in the situation versus just slapping a title on yourself. It sounds like you're outcome based pretty much.
Leadership is measured by effectiveness. You can be right. You can be the smartest, but it's about effectiveness. There were 20 people, 15 of them came out successful under your command. You were successful at a 75% rate. We removed you and put somebody else in there, and 3 of them were effective. That person failed. They were not effective. But they were right. They knew everything. But they were strong. But they had the books. They had a degree. But they were not effective because people chose not to follow. And that's somewhere where it could be measurable.
Okay, I got you.
This person would have got you 15. This person got you 3. Just like in football and sports. You ain't getting the results. You ain't leading the people. You're fired. It is what it is.
Okay.
Well, I use that as a measurable example. And it's measurable.
That's a good example.
Can you lead? Do you have to be a male to lead? Do you have to have a penis to lead? Is it required?
No,
So you're telling me women can lead?
absolutely.
So can women lead men?
Yeah.
Let's just take corporate, for corporate, military, whatever. Can women lead men effectively?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. In my situation now, I report up to the CFO and the deputy CFO, both females, very competent. Have no issue taking no
chief financial
orders from.
officer, that is.
Yeah, my bad. All these abbreviations, I'm so used to them. But
Me too.
I report up to them. Got good working relations. Man, they're willing to mentor. They're big on like work-life balance. So man, great leaders. So anybody that says they can't, shit, you're probably not in a real professional setting, but definitely there's some females that's very capable, like you said.
Chris says, but older, I can tell you there's no shame in picking up a trade or two and going to college. I'm not going to assume that you disagree with that. So just painting,
Oh, who's
electrician,
Jones? They was going in on my man Chris.
Easy Jones probably. Welcome, Terica Smith, or being a plumber. Honestly, be the best you can at whatever you can. And everything doesn't, you don't have to be in a leadership role because everyone's needed. And also, leadership is also needed at all levels.
Yeah.
Can a female lead in a relationship?
I think they can, man. I think in a lot of relationships, I think to tell you the truth, I think a vast majority of men are not in the leadership role, man. If you break that down, and some of them don't need to be. You know, if hell, it's like if you ain't got your shit together, then you might need to concede that rollover, get yourself together.
I'll tell a mild story. I was a supervisor and I started to struggle because I had a team full of women and they were communicating in a way that wasn't working for me. I was the problem because I wasn't listening thoroughly like I should have been. I plead guilty. We had strong points, we got weak points. Moving to work, developing the people and training, resources and all that, I was all pro. Fantastic. The goals I had set for them and what I needed them to know in 12 months, I did it more like 5. Fantastic. But here comes time to manage emotions. And I go to my supervisor, who was a female, because of course women can't lead. Don't listen to women. Can't do that. And I was talking to her about this theory about something called bottom-up leadership. Top-down leadership. Just today's little lesson. Top-down, you were the expert. It's usually a supervisor or manager who's managing one thing. Plumber. Or you manage budget, you manage finance, you manage cleaning. And everything, you're up here, everyone underneath you does a form of the same thing and the stuff that you've done already, and you're the expert. Been there 5, 10, 15 years. So they ask you a question, you are the source of knowledge. The knowledge comes from the top and it goes all the way down to the new people. I think that would be easier, but I've never been in top-down leadership in employment. Then there's bottom up. I was over human resources, property management, facilities management, budget, purchase card, travel, all these other things. I can't be an expert and I can't be everywhere at every time.
Hell no, you got all that.
I know budget, I know P-card, I know this, I know some of this. I did this 3 years ago. I know somebody who knows this. I got people who do this. So I was able to facilitate, yeah. But being the guy, if you need anything, come see me. No. I might take you 2 days to get you to the person who can get the answer so we can get it. But actually, I'm going to send you to training because I need you to go get the knowledge and bring it to me. I can't be everywhere. So bottom up, need more communication. You need to empower your people a little bit more. So that's where you go host a meeting. Hey, y'all 3, tell me about what y'all know about this. Tell me how y'all think that this should be run. Then, well, I think we should do this. Why? I think because of this. Well, what about this? Have a full discussion. And then the leader makes the final decision. I think we're going to do it the way that y'all said to. Okay, guess what? Leadership came from the bottom and it rose to the top. I still got the title. And then my job is to go and make sure that I give the credit, give the accolades to the people at the bottom. That's my job on the back end. But if that's the case, in relationship, this is just my theory, can women lead and still be submissive? What do you think, Jerk? You're the married one. I'm not. I'm too ugly.
No, absolutely. The way you was breaking it down, I like the example you use because this is like a company got different, like I said before, CFO, deputy CFO, COO. So you got different roles. You got the CEO, but he can't manage everything. So you break the duties up. you give people their lane, and a lot of time, like you said, they're reporting up the communications to you. They're like, hey, you know, you need to look out for this. This is what we're dealing with. This is the solution. This is how we fix this. They're bringing all this information. And like you said, your job is to, like, you know, make sure people get their credit and stuff, but you collect it holistically, look at stuff. So in a relationship, absolutely, man. If you got a smart, capable woman, you should be giving each other, like, the goal of a relationship is to be efficient. And you're supposed to come in there and support each other. And somebody shouldn't be trying to control everything. So if you got a capable woman, like my wife, for example, hey, you handle these lanes, I'll focus over here. That way we're not burning each other out. You know, we got downtime. So I mean, we're efficient. So that's why I tell people, it's like, a lot of times, like, if you're a good leader, you're going to recognize the strengths that somebody brings to the table, and you're not threatened if they, like, are running some stuff. You ain't got to micromanage. You're just like, hey, they do a good job handling that stuff. Look, I'm gonna focus on investing, doubling our money over here. So yeah, you taking them notes, Dusto?
So you mean to tell me, what you said is the key. The key is effectiveness. That's the key.
Efficiency, effectiveness.
Efficiency and effectiveness. So it's not about being right, or it's not just that you're a man and she's a woman.
Right is for losers.
Right is for losers. Okay. And I believe
It's
you said something
inefficient.
about strength, and I believe you said strength and weaknesses. Oh, welcome to the stage. Solid person, decent person, doing some big things in the Memphis area. CJ from 5100. That's your
Good, man. How
crowd
you
noise.
doing?
That's your crowd noise. That's all you get over here, bro. We ain't making that type of money.
Since a budget cuts, baby.
Hey man, make it work. Make it work.
Yeah, but I like what you're talking about: effectiveness, efficiency, strengths and weaknesses.
Mhm.
Can you elaborate just a little bit on that strengths and weaknesses part?
Oh, absolutely, man. Ain't nobody perfect.
Jared,
You know,
I'm
so
gonna
at the
get
end
you.
of the day,
I'm
you're
gonna let
supposed
you
to get
cook,
somebody.
CJ.
Oh,
No, go ahead,
okay.
Jared.
Just real quick. I'm just, you know, you're supposed to get somebody that compliments you, you know, in a relationship. So like I said, like I purposely went for somebody that was smart, had their stuff together. So for example, like sometimes I would splurge. My wife is like, we were buying our house. I'm trying to get like every room. I'm trying to get every bathroom in that. My wife's like, man, we could save. We don't have to get all this. So she tried to walk me off the edge. I'm like, nah, I'm stunting on everybody. I'm getting all this stuff. But you know, she'll pull me off the edge sometimes. She's like, man, you know, you don't want to spend all that money. You know, you're good, like, doing this stuff. So you get that person that, like you said, sometimes could rein you in or be like, hey, might be better at organizing stuff. So you kind of let them go. That's not my strength at that point. I'm more like a long-term planner, strategic planner, where she's good at more or less the day-to-day stuff, keeping things in order and stuff. So that's why I said, you know, together we're very efficient.
CJ dropped. Yeah. CJ, you pop back up. I'll pull you back up, and I'm gonna let you cook for a minute too. Here you go.
My bad.
Pull my man up. CJ looked like he's about to go in.
Oh no. I wasn't finna go in. I was just trying to get my little situation together. You know?
Yeah, he's trying to for the pretty ladies out there. CJ's trying to get a situation together. So
Shout out to CJ.
make sure you shout out to I believe it's 5100 CJ. He's single and ready to mingle.
Yeah, Pookie hybrid, man. You know, I'm gonna break down the narratives about Pookies, man. Y'all got it twisted. We get the blame for everything, man. Your condom not working, Pookie fault. You ain't got no money, Pookie fault. God damn.
Yeah, Pookie's getting blamed for everything, man.
I'm saying we get blamed for everything. But you want me to answer the question of the show? Or
Actually, go ahead and cook from wherever you started listening or whatever you want to drop.
Okay.
What is yours?
Okay, so you know I'm a supporter of this space, right? You know, most people don't really love the space or whatever, and that's cool. You know, I ain't gonna say I love it. It's like a distant ex-girlfriend that I didn't make it work with. But anyway, so I think what doesn't get talked about enough in this space is the role that the woman plays if you have the right one. We always talk about the wrong one. We never talk about. Oh shit, that's not gonna be extra.
No, I'm just clouded. Go ahead. I'm just
I
clouded.
don't think we talk enough about the right woman, you know, and what she actually brings to a man. As a man that is single, a man that is divorced, and as a man that is celibate, gone through child support, parental alienation, I still want a wife and I still want children because I understand the importance of having both. Right. But it's not something you can just decide that you should have. It got to be something you're ready for. And when I got married at a young age, I don't think it was the young age. I just think it was the lack of information that I had being raised. Not to knock my parents or my mama or my pops or whatever, but it's just some things I just didn't understand. And one of the things I didn't understand is understanding the language of women because it is different. Right? It's we can complain about it, but in reality, women communicate differently. That doesn't mean wrong. You know, that's your face expression is killing me, bro.
No, actually, you on point. Keep cooking.
No,
Yeah,
I'm saying because like I think I told you this before, Dusto. In my marriage, I think we were a year away from being forever. I've said that before, and we were going through some struggles, misunderstandings, lack of appreciations on both sides, but some of it was financial because we were young, trying to figure it out. And I really believe that if we kind of conquered that together, we would have been together forever because we had just started to get into a space where we really understood each other. I think having a child probably we weren't ready for it like we thought we were, and that kind of changed things. But overall, bro, I'm just saying, what you hear on the internet is part of the equation sometimes, but it's never really the full picture. And you know, as men, I think that we can get too caught in our ways of how things should work without really looking at what's around us and making the formula that fits everyone with us. You know what I'm saying?
Question.
Okay.
Would you say, because they say talking about man being the leaders, if you lead, they follow. The lead. And do you see in the, I'll say the spaces, because I don't claim to be a part of the space. Space. I'll put my name on it.
Okay.
Right. Do you think the leaders are leading the people who are following those spaces in the right path?
Okay. So I need you to narrow it down and quit being chicken shit. Like what you talking about?
If you follow that okay, leaders should have some kind of formula.
Okay.
Like Sophisticated Jerk works in contracting or something.
Mm-hmm.
He's a leader.
Mm-hmm.
You work something different. If you go under his system and follow his plan, will you be successful?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the spaces.
Mm-hmm.
People coming in, they say do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. Do they have a system lined up for men to come in and follow that works?
Mm-hmm.
Good answer. Great answer.
I mean, bro, majority of them no. But like I just said, I got to speak about the women that are doing right. Got to speak about some men that are doing right. Green Gorilla, Dr. Tiason Johnson. You know, they really getting legislation that, you know, as far as parental alienation, custody rights, child support rights, like they're actually creating 14-point points bulletins that would help men, you know, strive to be better. And I wouldn't have met them if I didn't come to the space. You know what I'm saying? So, but for the overall majority of this particular space, no, it's you're not gonna learn too much that's gonna help you have a successful marriage. Now, you might be a successful man. You might be a guy that learns how to pick the right microphones for your podcast. But as far as being husbands, you're not gonna get that here. I hate to say that because You know, Dusto asked that fucking question to put me in the box. It's cool though. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
No, I had to ask because it's on the topic.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna lighten it up and I'm gonna say this.
Mhm.
I actually have people I've met in these spaces, met some solid people. Some stuff that I've heard in these spaces have been some real solid information before beating it up and all the trolling and ragdolling and dusting I'm doing in these spaces. And I can throw all the BS out and just have fun trolling and ragdolling the junk, but I still maintain some of the good information I have heard. So on a positive note, there is some positive, and even if I got 3 nuggets, there's 3 that I didn't have before. So I'm gonna take my boxing gloves off for the space for the rest of the night. I'm gonna go easy.
Yeah, right, nigga.
So Scan, let me ask you, do you
Okay.
think like hearing what people be saying on like the spaces that you're referring to, you think they're setting up I'll say like a leadership structure?
No. Just no. Some of it got some
Why would you say
correction,
they're not?
thing I'm big on is communication. There's the message that you deliver, there's how it's received and what's received. You're still actually responsible for both if you consider yourself some kind of leader. So if I give you some information and deliver it in a way you don't understand it, or it's missing some pieces, or it didn't come to you, and you go do it and do something wrong, I still had the ability to tell you something different or not tell you anything. So
Okay.
if the words are coming out and the messages are getting, and people are interpreting it wrong or out there doing this and only getting then something is off. Even if they were really trying to tell them only to do this, the result is still bad. Because like I said, we don't measure it based on right. We measure on effectiveness. And managing emotions is a very important part of leadership. I'm just saying.
That's probably key, like you said, up there with communication. They neck and neck.
Question for y'all. This is my favorite word when it comes to leadership. Said I was going to wait an hour, then I was going to break it out. The word is influence. Here's my theory. I'll just drop my theory and let y'all speak on it.
Okay.
If you are a leader, this leader title of the show is Can You Lead Without? You can lead without money. You can lead without a title. You can be a female and lead. At the end of the day, it's about effectiveness and efficiency. If a woman got 400 men building a brick house, she's effectively leading. If she got them all doing something and in a line, she's effectively leading. It can be good or it can be bad. Queen Maker is effectively leading. It might not be where you want, but she has a big following and they're rocking, supporting, and they're in line. It is true.
Yeah.
The word is influence. My theory is that if you have influence, you can lead with that by itself and be effective, meaning people will follow. Not competent, but you can speak and you can do things in a way that people actually get up and they move, and they do. Influence being, you're not even that competent, they follow. You're not that articulate, but they follow. It's going to take some massive communication, effectiveness, mastery, people skills. But if you are influential, you can lead and it trumps all. Pushback, anybody?
I just looked at the definition to make sure I wasn't tripping. I mean, shit, it's right. Like, influence covers all the bases. I mean, I had pushed back until I stopped being, in my emotions.
Aha, got you. You're playing dirty today.
Yeah, man, you got one right. Broke clock right twice a day, man.
I got you easy. I'm gonna bring you up in a minute. He in the back.
Easy who?
Well, just to piggyback off what you're saying, influence is, I say, critical. So I do agree with you because I mean, at the end of the day, you dealing with an adult, man. You don't really have no authority over that person. So that's what be cracking me up, like you said, somewhat in these spaces, because the way people be referring to stuff like, oh man, I got 100% leadership. 5 years down the line, you see him in divorce court, leadership gone. So it's just like, man, you really don't have no authority. And I saw Cheeky breaking it down the other day. He was like he was getting into it back and forth with some older dudes. And he was right on his position, because he was just like, man, you really don't have authority. So you better be able to have that influence, like you're saying, because if you don't, it's not going to end well. So that's what a lot of people got to start understanding. It's just like, man, how do I influence these people? AKA, you got to lead by example. So I'll drop it right there.
Welcome to the stage.
Easy, what's good, man?
He just got out of prison 30 days ago. He's living in a halfway home somewhere. His CEO is on vacation right now. Welcome to the stage. No, actually, shout out one of the most professional people I know. Drops a lot of gems. Did a lot for us on an interviewing show that we did. Welcome to the stage, Easy Money Jones. Crowd knows.
Thank you. Dusto, appreciate you. Sophisticated, always a pleasure. Pookie Hybrid, what's going on?
What's good, Easy?
What's going
Chilling.
on? Hey, let me get CJ. Drop some more fire. Just freestyle, whatever you got on the topic. Then I'm going to let Easy cook for a minute.
I mean, I pretty much said what I had to say, bro. I think this space is necessary, but if you want to learn how to be a leader, this is not the space where you do it. Nor should it be, because it's the fucking internet. Go ahead.
So CJ, you're saying they need to get outside and get some practical experience, like some hands-on experience.
It's important. I didn't learn how to catch a football until I dropped one. So yeah.
Oh, okay, I like that.
Dusto, like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? Like he's agreeing with me.
Oh yeah. Now here's the thing: as much reckless, trolling, dusty, whatever stuff I say, if I'm ever wrong, or if I ever am, I got no problem saying, "Hey man, you was right, I was wrong," or apologizing to people I say wrong stuff to. I was on World Class Show today. Dude, Omar Smith came up with a different perspective of something. And I was like, you know what? Based on your perspective of what it is, I saw it wrong. It is what it is. Keep cooking. Yeah, I don't have some pride and ego to where I can't listen and learn. Yeah, and I'm trying not to be a judge. I grew up judgmental. I don't like it. I'm trying to actually get that out my subconscious mind. I'm trying to grow my own self. So as the teaching and whatever I'm doing, I'm still learning too. I'm never gonna stop. So yeah. Easy Money Jones.
So what's the question? Is it can you learn leadership from this space or spaces or whatever you want to call it?
Well, honestly, starting from the beginning, anyway to the end, just grab the mic, whatever you want to say about leadership.
Man, everything rises and falls on leadership. I had an early experience with what I would call a great leader. And we're still cool to this day, even though I've been working for him in almost, well over a decade at this point. And, he really ran me through the gauntlet of what leadership is and what it can be. It's the ability to put, the people in the right position to be successful. It's the ability to have a vision and communicate that vision to the people, under your leadership, and be able to remove the roadblocks as necessary. And I learned that lesson very early in my career, and I thank God for that, because without that, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Because like I said, my first leadership role was at 25, and I had a staff of 4, and there was no one under the age of 55. So, all these people were old enough to be, my grandparents. And so being able to come in, establish that credibility, have the vision, communicate it, and roll it out, I owe that all but to my first leader. And like I said, who's still my mentor. So big time stuff right there. And the space is just entertainment. Like, none of this is real, so like, it's just people just having conversations. And then it's the drama that's attached to the people that have these repetitive conversations that really keeps you around, because you're like, wait, that person dissed that person. Wait, that person went and met up with that person. It's like, wow, it's like high school. You know what I'm saying?
You know why, fool? Like, I diss a lot of people in this space, but you know why it doesn't like cause traction? Because I actually don't like the niggas. Like, it's not. I'm not saying I don't. It's like I'm not actually doing it for content. It's like, no, I think you're a loser, bro. I just really think you're a loser. Like, you could be good in one point of life, but in this point that I'm talking about, you're a loser. Like, it's just that simple. But people come in this space, it's I think black people got this bad though, because when I think about music, we expect rappers to be really rapping about their real life. And I think that bleeds over into this space where if this man says he's a high value man, though I don't know no damn receipts, right? I just got to go off his YouTube channel. What can you say? I remember Scarface had a quote. He said, "As a rapper, you are who you say you are." Well, as a content creator, the nigga that do 8-hour live streams, you kind of are who you say you are until proven otherwise. So I think that's a part of the entertainment value right there.
But you know what's up, food, man? Like I'll say it like this. To your point, I realize that a lot of people in the space are losers, but I have empathy for them though, because like for some of these people, this is the most lit that they have been since high school or elementary school, hell, maybe even middle school. And so like this is their thing. And so it's that balance of, do I shit on this person's thing and call the thing? Like, hey, this guy's a loser. I don't know why y'all rock with him.
This is like them going outside. Like,
right.
Like, that's what it is for a lot of people in the space. And you can tell who is who. Like, it's not really hard if you got listening skills,
Yeah.
Dusto obviously doesn't live a good life. It's obvious.
I tried to tell people I'm overweight, I'm broke. I tried to tell them that. I ain't got no money. I'm 5'2". I don't got no money. I sold it all. Like,
you sold all your money?
I sold it all. Yeah. Rough times. I had to sell the money to pay the bill. It was rough.
Desperate cause for defamation, huh?
Yeah, I'll say this though. Summer 2022. I'm at the beach. I was 41. I just so happened to be in shape that day. So I'm walking around with no shirt on at the beach down in Clearwater, Florida. I'm talking to some cute slim woman. Of course, she wasn't listening because I can't get any women. Also, some young slim pretty thing. She wasn't listening, of course, though we were talking for about an hour. And these two kids looking at me funny. Then finally, the 18-year-old girl comes up to me. Excuse me, are you on Lapeef? Huh?
Whoa.
Then the little boy, he's 13. I told you that was him.
Lord have mercy.
What's your name, sir? They were real respectable, polite, and everything.
13.
That's crazy.
He recognized me. He's 13. She 18. She's the one came and asked me. Because I had to talk to them for a little bit. Asking, would y'all hear how y'all like, the show, would y'all see me on or whatever? Like, yeah, you did. What's your name? Is it Dr. Panderson? Was it Scam Likely? Yes. Scam Likely. That's you. I was like, oh my God. 18 and 13. And they say their mom watches the show. They just sometimes be in the room and hear it, and they looked and they saw me and the boy recognized her. So
oh my God.
You'll be surprised who's listening, who's watching. But they listened enough that they saw me and knew who I was.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm greasy, 100 degrees, ashy, probably coming out the beach water. No shirt on.
You say you're greasy?
Yeah, Tampa hot. We're talking 100.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, it's hot down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But people you'll be surprised who's watching and who's listening. This is 2022.
So look, I was on podcast panel last night, right? And he posed the interesting question and did a little poll, right? So the question was, who in this space? Because I don't know how long Easy Money been here, but Dusto been here far too long, right? Who would you rather be the representative for black men in the high echelons of media from this space? Who would you rather it be out of everybody you've encountered?
Not a single one of them, because none of them could pass the background check.
You said the representative. I'm trying to think now.
Ooh.
Like, damn.
So is this the backwards way of asking us who's the king of the hill right now?
Nah, because I don't
No,
think it comes down to
more
who got
like
the best
if you
numbers
put
or
all
the
this
best
together and had to put a face on it.
Okay. Thank you. Ooh.
I won't answer the question.
Nah. Go ahead.
How the host not gonna answer the question? Come on,
Nope,
bro.
not answering.
Come on.
Fifth Amendment. It's
Well,
been a good show.
are you just saying somebody that like they have to be married or they just got their stuff together?
I mean, just like who
No
you
meaning.
will be the best representative for what you would want people to view black men as. Like, on the
Oh, okay. I was
I'm
taking
gonna say
it.
Okay,
cheeky.
different.
I
took
would
it
say
different.
cheeky.
That's not a bad one. You could have done a lot worse. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So are you saying you have to factor in the dust and everything along with it? Or can you
Yes,
just pick the best
everything counts. Everything counts.
one?
Just don't say you. Just don't say you.
I
Don't
got too many
fucking say
altered
you.
egos. I can't say me because I'm all over the place. Actually, I might have to agree with Cheeky.
I would say cheeky or Aaron. Aaron O.
Aaron's up on my list.
'Cause you get
Oh
soul,
man.
you get some junk, you get some red pill, you get some sensibility, you get a little bit of everything blended in. You might get Cheeky.
Does his virginity status have anything to do with it?
Nope.
Wait.
I'm just checking. I just
Well, I mean, he's principled, man. It's
One
rare
of
that you
two
get
effective
somebody
ones.
that like
Yeah.
walks the walk. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying I would have him in there because I mean that's very principled to do that. And
Yeah.
plus, he's an effective communicator. So I think like if you want somebody in front of the podium like talking, him and Aaron they know how to communicate. They're pretty balanced too. So that's why I would say both of them.
So somebody commented, podcast about to be mad. And they're actually like they couldn't be more correct. But I understand why podcasts would be mad because if I would say who I would want for a debate, podcast is one of my top guys for a debate. Because podcast,
he's smart. Yeah,
he understands the art of debating, right? But if we're talking about a leader of this space, it just can't be podcast. I love my boy to death, but it can't be him. So I would say, man, I don't know how to answer my own question. I would say, shit. If I could give the wisdom of Angry Man, because he's been around the block, like I could tell by some of the stuff he talk about, to Cheeky, he would be perfect. Cheeky just don't know enough, bro. Like, I believe Cheeky don't know enough. He hasn't had any pussy, and I'm not saying you have to, but like in this world, in this realm he's talking about, like that's like a pivotal key. I ain't gonna lie. Like, and I told him this to his face, so it ain't like I'm saying something behind his back. Like, but intellectually, I would say Cheeky. But if I could do an overall package, then I think they would represent us well.
I'm also a virgin, just for the record. Continue.
Okay.
I'm a virgin with 3 kids, so gets a little tough.
Okay, Virgin Mary. I mean, Virgin Marion. Okay, Virgin Marion. I would have to go. Damn, that's a tough one, bro. You know who I would love to represent us, bro? Dr. Bennett. Dr. Bennett, because he's a married man, he's successful, and he's a Christian man. Dr. Bennett.
He's legit.
Yeah, he is.
I like Bennett. Yeah, I need to get him over here. Mr. Bennett can listen in a pile of dust.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't know that he's got a gift.
8 people slobbering over the microphone, and I was probably the one to start it, just being honest.
Facts.
He can come back 20 minutes later and say, back to what he said 15 minutes ago. I was like, oh,
sharp.
He heard that.
Oh.
All the junk, he actually heard what was said.
Sir Hill. I'd say
Yeah,
Sir
that's what I
Hill.
was about to say. Sir Hill,
I
definitely
just had to
do.
think about it, Sir Hill, because he doesn't, he doesn't pander as much as Dusto, and he's not as over the top as like Obsidian or somebody, but he's smart. He has the look, and honestly, Sir Hill is corporate and presidential, bro. No cap. He has
Yeah,
it.
he's got a good
So,
blend of all.
He has it.
But
yeah,
I think y'all sleeping on Cheeky, man. I think Cheeky got a lot of critical thinking skills. I seen him on the
Cheeky
panel
dope.
watching some old heads, and I'm like, that cat.
He
He
my
knows his
top
stuff.
3. He my top 3.
I'm
Cheeky
disqualified for troll violation. So
Exactly.
What?
J Speed is also disqualified. Too many troll
Yeah,
violations.
y'all in the troll hall of fame. Y'all can't go.
Yeah, but I would say between Cheeky, Sir Hill, yeah, I can see that.
And there no, you
And
gotta throw it.
Cheeky is young too. That's a good thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's so sharp at a young age. Yeah,
But you didn't say a name, man, and you kind of backed off it. I do think podcast, man, that's a smart brother, man. Like
he is. He is. He just fucked up. That's my boy, but he fucked up.
no, but he's balanced, man. Like he
Yeah.
got. I heard him talking. I was like, man, he's a couple times he was arguing with people, man. He was taking them through
He
like the
listens.
thinking process, and he nice with it. I
He
think he is
listens
a
at
good
a high level,
representation.
bro. He
Yeah,
listens at a high level.
I'm not your debater because after 1-2 things, I'm ready to troll. I ain't gonna lie.
He's a debate.
Yeah, I ain't got the
specialist.
patience.
I like it's like, okay, podcast. It's the 4th quarter. I just need you to expose this nigga. He gonna do it.
Oh yeah, he gonna tear it apart
He's
if you
gonna
don't
do
cuss
it.
him out.
Yeah, I don't take most of the stuff serious anyway. We talking about men's versus women's. I just
Yeah.
can't. I can't do it. I got to troll.
Lord,
I'm just saying. Like, question: if we were to decide to, let's just say we had to just scale all the space, just skin it from the top. You know what? It's just failing.
mm-hmm.
We're gonna grab 3 leaders and put them on the top. Who are the three that you would grab? And I'm not gonna answer the question either. I'm cheating.
This is crazy.
I
Bro.
might answer it.
You said as
Thank
far
So
as
you
like
got to
leadership.
start over, basically.
Let's say Manosphere goes political. They win a bill, and all men have to tune in for 12 hours per week because we're just tired of what we're seeing out here in these streets. We're going to grab 3 people, and they're going to be publicly appointed. They got to report to the White House Tuesdays and Fridays. The Manosphere or this space is legit. What 3 people would you grab and put and say, you know what, these are our leaders right here?
Ooh,
And
that's
why?
a good question.
And some people in the audience don't know who these people are. So explain some of the characteristics of why.
I'm gonna say Mandrell.
Hold on.
And,
Whoa, you sure about that?
Who?
no, I'm sure, man. He's a structured guy, man. He got the characteristics, man. He gonna get stuff done. You know,
Light skinned guy that lifts tires and shit. Yeah.
got the discipline. Discipline is
Yeah.
I would say going back to Sir Hill. I think he's one that I definitely probably put in that group. The third one, I'm kind of.
I'm gonna have to process that one. Damn. Hey, even his character makes me think he's not qualified. But Obsidian, bro. Politically, knowing the laws, understanding the structure of America, his ability to research, write, and cite sources, that's powerful. Just on that, like I would never actually choose him, but just based off of what you said, if we, on paper, Obsidian. But my Sir Hill is the number 1 guy for me, though. I'm just not gonna lie, it's him.
And you know what? I'll throw Easy Money in there because I see Easy Money be going in places, giving that pushback. And I know his background. Does that factor in? No, I wouldn't put you in
I
there.
don't know his background. Yeah.
No, I've been corporate almost 20 years at this point. So
I'll put you
a couple
in there.
degrees, bunch of kids,
I think talking the talk is like a big portion of this, like being able to blend and speak the language. Some people have sold their souls so they can really do it well.
I got 3 people. Give me Sir Hill.
Okay.
young married children on the rise.
Mhm.
Definitely the look, in shape, definitely committed, and down with the cause.
That's a fact.
Give me
What
OG.
cause? What causes? Just to be sure, Dustin. I just want to make sure you're on point. Which cause are you talking about?
He wants to see men and women get back together. He
Okay.
believes in leadership.
Okay. That's all I wanted. I'm
Definitely has
sorry.
the heart. And he's on the rise. He's younger than me. He's like 36, 37.
Oh,
So here like 35.
35? Oh,
He
damn.
young, he young, bro. So here was young.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that young.
Yeah.
Give
I thought he
me-
was old.
Give me OGJ Speed. He got wisdom that's just through the roof, beyond measure. If y'all ever talk to him, way beyond what you see. Also a comedic aspect. But to pair him with Sir Hell, then an X Factor, I could throw Jerk in there. I could throw Easy
Oh,
Money in
yeah.
there. I could throw Mr. Bennett in there. But with that combo, I'd be taking notes. But thing being, J Speed is older, well traveled, Nation of Islam years, comedy, Hollywood, martial arts. That brings so much.
Oh yeah.
You know the reason I wouldn't say, like, even though I give Obsidian like points from being an intellectual, I believe he has no spine.
Can't lead like that. That
I-
means somebody else got to cover it up.
Yeah, I don't believe he has a spine. That's the only reason why he wouldn't be my top 3 guy. But intellectually, he can give anybody a run for their money in the space.
And if it's just for the money, that square can be knocked off 15 minutes with a paycheck.
That's a fact.
But give me some people who are disciplined and down with the cause. And I honestly might would pick some of them over my own self. Because I don't care that much, to be honest. I don't. I can't lie.
Cause you disqualified yourself for all the muscle shirts and shit.
I want to promote fitness, bro. I'm all for it.
I don't think that's what you were doing, but go ahead.
Hey, that's all. I'm a Florida man. That's all I wear.
Right.
But
Are you originally from Florida?
no, I'm from Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. Tying it back, going back to leadership. I'll go back to the question I just asked. If influence, first of all, do y'all believe influence takes all? Meaning somebody can have all these other qualities and one person can go over and influence that person. They now trump the leader.
If you look at the definition of influence, it covers everything.
Y'all
Yeah,
agree
I agree.
influence take all?
I think it takes all, but money is a close second. I think money can influence a lot of people if you look at it from that.
Success. Like,
Well, if it's person-to-person leadership, technically, Jerk, you influence CJ by money. All I got to do is come up with more money and he's gone. But if I got influence and you got money, it's going to be hard for you to get them, or you might can only get them temporary.
hold on,
until
say
the
it
money
again.
runs out. Okay. If I got influence over CJ and you have money, you might can rent him. But even if I got influence, when he gets your money, he's still going to be calling me, hey, man, what should I do about this? I got influence over him.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I can talk him out of taking the money.
That's if you can persuade me for sure with your influence. Right. Okay. That's a fair point.
Key to leadership. We don't like it. Some people do like it. Influence trumps all.
I mean, I know that involves being charismatic, and I think that's that's damn near like
charisma. Good word.
Yep.
That's like our word. Charisma.
That's almost like the Manosphere Kryptonite, because they hate that shit. Like it's like that's Pookie and Ray Ray. Okay, trust me, I'm a hybrid. It's in my name, right? I'm a Pookie hybrid. Trust me, I know. Being charismatic with a woman, being able to capture her attention, because if you get her attention and you're giving her attention, that's dangerous, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's how she sells box for you. That's how pimps work. That's just That's not a lie. I'm just
No, that's right.
Nah, it's
I
true,
ain't never
it's true.
did it, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, I know how it goes, bro. Like that's being charismatic, bro. It's how you say it.
CJ, did you put a couple on that blade? Is that what I'm hearing?
I ain't put none on the blade, but a piece of never have I done that. But yeah.
Now, this is how I know it. People who don't even want to admit how powerful that is. They say, "No, you got to have the money. You got to have you got to have a title. You got to be because the parent did right here. How I can kill that whole argument? Anybody who got kids, this thing right here, they start saying, cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
But get to scratching for that phone.
There's Coco Melon on them.
Everybody's scared. Come on, man. This is a new parent. This parent right here can get them kids doing backflips, twerking, jumping, flipping. What does it have? Influence. They shaking. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But the reason I definitely agree with you on the influence part, because like my man CJ was breaking down, that's pretty much game, you know. But you know, when you the reason why I said money is a close second, because a lot of people just for some reason are short-term minded. So like you were saying, you were correct when you said, hey, that's short term, but that's where most people actually operate.
That's
so
true.
That's why I think they could be influenced by the money. I mean, just look at all the people on OnlyFans and shit. You know, even though they'll get on there and it's gonna ruin their future life, they're gonna take them short-term gains and stuff because it's easy, you know, easy money.
So somebody mentioned
like I incorporated that.
Very well played.
Somebody mentioned Mandrell, right? I think it was you, sophisticated jerk. Do you think people will actually follow Mandrell? Because I don't.
Let shit get rough. I know my man was in special forces or something like that. You know, I went through similar stuff, so I just understand the mindset, the mental toughness that comes with that type of lane, and he's still showing the signs of dedication. So that's why I'm saying, like, people don't understand, like, I guess that type of leadership style sometimes. But like I said, get in them tough times, he's gonna lay down his life pretty much for you, and I think that is, you know, he's gonna have your back. So I think he's gonna win people over when you see him like in action and stuff like that.
So let me ask you this, because this is another point in this. This is another sticking point in the space. Is like leadership versus somebody that's willing to follow. Like, I honestly believe Mandrell has leadership qualities, but the way he displays over here in the space, because that's what we're talking about, leading the space into a different stratosphere, I don't see him having influence here.
I'll say this. Like the conversation we were having earlier, I was talking about struggling as a teacher. Jerk was talking about being in your lane. You don't put Kobe Bryant at center and say guard the best player, but you'll put him in shooting guard, say guard the best ball handler, maybe point, shooting, or small forward. You still got to lead in your lane.
Right.
In his lane, if times got tight, lecture, the grid cut off, and stuff got real tight, you're gonna follow him. I tell you that. But right now, times ain't like that.
So you talking about for catastrophe?
I'll say his lane. If the power grid went down and stuff got real,
okay, all right,
it's not negotiable.
I got you.
But right now, the grid ain't up. The grid ain't down.
Right.
So good, you want them on standby and be tight with them in case it happens. But right now, that might not be your person.
Because now I'm just kind of looking at it from like the influence standpoint. Like, why the power grid is up? Well, that's probably what Mandrell's weakest point in this space is actually influencing people, because people are fucking annoyed with Mandrell.
It takes time and work, and then there's also the person.
He's rough around the edges.
Yeah, there's the person you've seen him 2 years ago and the person you see now, as well as
I agree.
Some of us don't take this stuff serious, so you're gonna get this version because we don't care about the men's versus the women's. So we're not here to have real conversations half the time. Where if we were, we might say something and be more influential, more positive, more whatever. But someone was like, "Look, man, we're having a dumbass conversation. you're not getting my intellect. I'm not showing up to the zoo with a brand new 3-piece suit.
Right. We're not gonna talk
Yeah.
about 50-50
Yeah,
bills.
50-50, you're not getting. If I hear 50-50 modern woman blame the, I'm sorry, I can't have a good conversation. It's
Did you,
trolling.
Mm.
Dustin? Did you see
Can't
the
do it.
conversation? Did you see the conversation that we had with the millennial generation and the Generation X conversation? Did you see that when we did that?
About a year ago. Yeah,
It ain't that long, but yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll say this. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just look, and Mandrella respect this because I do it to his face all the time. But like, he didn't have a great performance at that time, and he
Okay.
was one of the leaders of the show.
Okay.
So I guess what I'm asking is like, what do you see in the overall package from Mandrell that says he could be a leader that could represent black men? Like, what about, is it the discipline? Is it the, I want this man in the foxhole with me if something go wrong? Like, I'm looking at the whole picture when we talking about leader, not just strong points. You know what I'm saying? Like overall, like, you know, like the best overall player ever, LeBron James, like that type of shit.
I'll say this. If you had that conversation tomorrow, it would not go the way it went a year ago. That I do know.
Okay.
Well, here's the problem. I think in a lot of cases also where, and Scam was hitting on this earlier, where it's just like most people don't even know how to be followers. So like if I had a person like Mandrell, I'll just be asking them questions like, hey, how did you accomplish this? How did you do that? And sometimes when you start asking people questions instead of like sometimes trying to combat their points and stuff like that, you could get the gems that you need. So I think you took a different, even with OJ Speed, I see him like going back and forth with people, but they miss what he be saying a lot of times. So I think sometimes, like you said, when we in these spaces, it's just like, man, let me get at Easy Jones instead of just like, okay, why do you have that viewpoint? Why do you think like that? So I always just ask questions because I have a general like, you know, I want to know why that person is thinking that. And I think people just want to attack stuff all the time instead of be like, yo, man, why you operate like that? So I think if people took that approach, you could get the gems from them. So when I hear Mandrell, I hear like a lot of stuff, but a lot of times we're kind of coming at each other. So he's going to snap back. You know, he ain't soft. So I think that's why sometimes he might get a bad rep sometimes, but nah, definitely good dude. He seems like he's going to be the one that's going to like give you that time, you know, pour into you and stuff like that. So that's why I think he would be a good leader.
Let me just say this to the audience. It was going to be a short show, just going in on leadership. I was going to cover my main points until I got to the level of influence and just drop that bomb. Now we just have an open discussion. It is what it is. Like that, dust free. Anybody wants to hit the panel, you can come up. And I promise, and ladies, we're not blaming women's. We don't do that over. Just know this is a safe space. It's going to stay that way.
Yeah, like you know what the space lacks is parity. That's all it is. Like it lacks parity.
So I got to bring the dustosphere back. That's what you're saying?
You know, you're a grown man, Dusto.
No, CJ, I get you.
CJ diplomatic, man. That's what I'm talking about.
CJ a lot more serious, so I get it.
I am.
Cam likely is not going to be one of his favorite people, but we can still work together. The fact that we can still work together shows a lot about his character because he's not really for the trolling. I'm about that troll life. I can't lie to you.
That's what I can't stand about you.
Jay Speed, one of my favorite people. These people so uptight, they need to laugh, man. Bad. They need it.
Alpha males don't laugh, though, Scam.
Say what?
Alpha males don't laugh.
I'm saying one woman say one thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get my alpha back on. It wasn't funny at all.
Say what?
nigga accidentally giggle and be like, "Oh shit, that wasn't funny." Alpha would think that's funny.
CJ, let me ask you a question. Where you think the space needs to kind of like go, I guess? Or people need to start kind of, in order to gain influence, what do they need to do differently?
I think what the black, and this is something Sherhale is involved in, the Black Manosphere conclave thing. Like I think that's great because it's putting brothers in position to further their education and make more money. And it's a summit where men who are professionals in their respective fields are having certain conversation, creating certain programs. So I think that should be the right grassroots. Like I think we've had enough of the conversation, even though I understand it's going to continue and I don't fully disagree. I think we've kind of crossed the threshold where we've talked about it enough. I honestly think black men and men in general have laid out their points, but I don't want to win. Okay, if there's going to be no vagina around it all, like I don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? So I think
It'll be around. It's just gonna be dry.
like who wants that, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that where the black manosphere type of things, where men are going to learn skills and take our image to a different place and create more economic opportunities. I think that's where it should go. I'm liking that direction. I think it needs to be tightened up, but I think it definitely needs to go there because I mean, Sir Hill is somebody I vouch for. Somebody I talk to Sir Hill at least twice or 2 or 3 times a month on the phone, like breaking down ideas, his viewpoint. That's a guy that if he vouches, because I didn't go, I will be this year because I'll be doing the camera work. Trust me, I'm betting on it.
Salute.
And just from he's inside of it, they look at Sir Hill as a leader too. They do, and he vouches for him. So I'm gonna go with Sir Hill's vouch. That's what we need to head. Self-development, financial independence, and image, and that's what they're doing.
I'll say this. When people ask me about solutions, I say the same 5 or 6 things, and they're actually baseline to me. Number 1, take care of your fitness. You're talking about taking care of and protect, provide all this stuff, and you can't get up a flight of stairs. What are we talking about? Talking about discipline, and you can't get past the fridge 3-4 times a day. You can't beat your own refrigerator to even get outside. Come on, you are representing. It is what you are. It actually is what you are.
Yeah,
and it's also what people see of what you are. There's a fact. And dead people. How can you fix the future if you ain't gonna be here? If you got 8-year shelf life and you're talking about raising a tooth, no, just no. But your physical health affects your mental health. How you feel about yourself? If you're all druggy and leaning on the couch all day, it might be something to do with your diet and your exercising. And this is before you even grab the mic and talk to somebody. You ain't even talk to your spouse or your girlfriend or your kids or your brother yet. Then it's your confidence, your attitude. Optimism is lacking. Everything is negative. That's not cool. 70-80% of the men and women got low self-esteem, all races. And that's just starting. We ain't even walked out the front door yet.
Facts.
Then is your communication. How do you talk? The number one thing that we do as people is we communicate. We talk. We listen. These are the main things that we do as people. And you got people who can't listen, can't talk, and all they want to do is fight and argue. Like, how do you go win a battle and you can't beat the one in your own mirror? You can't even identify the enemy because you are your own enemy. You beating yourself up. Then you beating up your spouse, your brother, your cousin. How you gonna show up on the battlefield? Please don't. You're gonna kill the soldiers. They tired from fighting with you.
There he is. That's the guy I know right there.
Am I wrong now?
No, but you're just doing it in such a scam likely way. It's just funny.
I gotta be me. But then we gotta work on stuff. Then we get to all the wealth and saving money. And instead of coming with an ego, I made $13,000 a week and I'm a big shot. Come on. Start at level 1. Make money and save it. People with these big ego, all this junk. Dude, I'll rob you, fool. Why we gotta get this?
Bro, can you just stop, bro?
I can't stop it. I can't.
You start cooking and you can't fucking stop.
I can't. I just can't, CJ.
He's not wrong though.
I'm just saying.
So, Scam, you think we need to focus on you'll say the basics, like building those skills, like you said, you're honing in on communication, leadership, and then even I know one of the best lives I've seen probably on YouTube was the one where you had Easy Money. He was giving them gems, and even where we're talking about like interviewing and stuff. Because I sent that to a few people, man, and it actually helped them out. And I remember Jedi Mike pulled up like, "Hey, man, it helped me out." So doing those type of things, that's what you're kind of leading to before we start getting to the money flexing.
Yeah, flexing money. Like, okay, to buy what? What you bought? What you bought, man?
A Tesla.
To go where?
To go get
Nowhere.
money.
Riding circles around the mall parking lot. Come on.
Yeah.
But
I mean, bro, I think it's
Go ahead.
somebody that has. I'm just saying, somebody that has a good panel that doesn't garner much attention, and you don't have to agree with everything, but he actually produces a good conversation. Humble Dad. He gives a good conversation, especially from you're a Christian and you're a father. I mean, he lost a wife, bro, and he talks about how he bounced back from that. Like I think people might think he's from the Lapeef tree, but he's actually not. Like he just been over there. He knows people in the space. But Humble Dad for sure. I've gone over there as a man and I've had to say, I don't know the answer to that question. That don't happen. I know everything. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's like, oh shit. So I like what he's doing over there. Like, you know, I think, and I also mentioned this on a short I just did. You know, we have to compete with the bullshit, bro. If we're gonna get the message out there, we have to compete with them.
Technically, you actually don't. You'll be surprised.
How do you think I mean compete, Duster?
Okay, I'll say this much: the people who want the BS, they go from panel to panel to panel to panel. I know it because I'm a troll. Right. Same thing. Modern women, 50-50. The men's, the women's, the bills, the men's, the women's, the bills. It's the same thing. And it keeps going. Then this panel falls off because they dox this dude and it comes back up. You know, the whole cycle.
Right.
But every one of us have our own, whatever we follow on YouTube, that's way different.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, if people want to find something, they're going to find it. And the people that you think that are going to be the people to support your space aren't the ones. If you're doing what you're doing for 3 years, you'll have a totally different, like if you got 2,000 followers, your next 20,000 aren't the people that are going to be these same people that you're looking at every day.
I think that's just an antiquated way of thinking, Duster. I really do. I think it's a dinosaur. I think it's the Lego compared to virtual helmets to play your games.
Fair game.
I do. I think social media influencing has much more power than it should. So if you're going to compete, I think you need to do what others are doing as far as getting yourself out there, presenting a good package. Because if not, it's not going to have the effect that it probably should. And people, bro, people look at Lil Boosie for advice, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, G.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I was speaking of something different.
Okay. Well, I'm letting you know what power you have by going live and entertaining, 10 to 30 people a day. Like, that's important,
I'm good with 5 people, 7 people.
I'm even with that. Like, that's a responsibility. That's my point. Like, that's exactly my point. Like, they looking at you for certain, they're looking at you to, like, for instance, like when you create content, people send you reaction videos because they want that's basically saying, I want to know what you think about this. But that's how powerful it is, bro. I'm just being honest. Like, somebody that has finally got consistent doing content, shorts, and like, bro, the inboxes I get are kind of scary, bro. No cap. Huh?
So interesting.
Yeah, I mean, bro, people like they're not looking at this as just entertainment. They're not.
Oh, that part, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
There's people saying this is their therapy, or they.
It's sort of mine too.
Yeah.
But I always make it clear I don't want fans. I'm not interested in fans. Words matter, goddammit. Fans is short for fanatic. I don't want any fanatics. I don't. You know what I mean? Somebody that supports something I'm saying or believe that I have a good intention. That's important to me. I'll take you thinking I'm in the right. I'll take you looking at me as somebody that really believes what I'm saying over you supporting me in a cash out because I'm gonna roast these bitches for you. You know what I'm saying? But that's the power, bro. I'm telling you, bro. We laughing, but I'm serious, bro. Like it's like that. So scam, you're more powerful than you think, bro.
I'm actually aware. I actually been aware sometimes. Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I found out. I'll talk about it. I'll say this part. I went to a Lapeef meetup, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, of course, they know me. I don't know them because there's a lot of people who ghost watch. They're not in chat. And they coming up to me, hey, Scam Likely or Dr. Panderson or Dusto, whatever name I'll be using because I have 15 off the egos. Or, hey, that's the dude to be doing this. This dude singing about the wigs. There you go, right there. And the stuff they be telling me or asking me. Like one of them was talking about something. Like 6 or 7 people asked me this one question or mentioned one thing that I said. It was on Sage Talk, and they was talking about they threw the black fathers out. They threw the black fathers out because they was black. And I was like, really? If we're gonna go with that narrative, there's 12 on my grandfather's side, my father's side of the family. It's a bunch of men. Nobody knocked on these doors. My dad, I never remember being 5, 6 years old, somebody knocking on the door and saying, excuse me, go get the mortgage, the title deed to this house. I'm throwing you out because you're black. And they're like, we never thought about that. We just kept going with the narrative, didn't ask no questions. They just run with the narratives, don't do any thinking. Like 7 people asked me about it. Another person was saying, because I came on singing about wigs one day, had the whole chat rolling. He was saying he was having a horrible day, mad at the world, mad at the supervisor, and was doing some kind of construction work. He said he almost shot a nail into his foot because he was laughing so hard. Said it changed his whole day. Just one silly. So sometimes you never know what somebody's dealing with. You never know what people hear, what they get.
That's powerful, Dusto.
Yeah.
I'm like the reason I'm and Dusto, you kind of helped me understand a couple things about myself that I can definitely be better at and understanding some of the responsibility. And it didn't hit me then recently. It's somebody like I'm learning how to really work cameras and lighting and shit, right? And like understanding that, bro. Like, bro, what you see on this internet, bro, you have no idea how fake it is. Like, it can be great if you use it the right way, but so many people use it the wrong. Like, just think about what you just said. Somebody was going through something in their personal life, and they watched you be Dr. Panderson, which is hilarious. And they got a laugh at, like it made their day better. That's powerful, bro. That's a lot of responsibilities, bro. Even if you don't think you have them, you have them.
I'm learning from Jay Speed.
Yeah.
Troll master. Troll
Hey,
God.
Dude right there. He's so good at it, I be thinking he's drunk. Okay. I swear to God.
I'll light this comment up. Dan, I'm gonna do a final thoughts and then we can close out.
Okay.
I think youngsters, house property, pay 100% with cash. A low price starter house with low property taxes. Hence, they can be more confident, take risk, in my opinion. I agree. I think there's a lot of different lanes where people need help or can do and would do. I think a lot of people are in different stages. And even people on the top levels still got weak points, blind spots, and everything. What we don't have is a collective, trusting, working, functional collective of strong men, strong women actually working together.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a Black community and it was better than what was. It had its problems, but for a lot, we went to church together. We knew the parents. We respected elders. It was something better than what you're seeing now. So I know that it can work. I know kind of what it looks like, but I also know the inner workings and what the problems, because I also see stuff fall apart. Wish we had better, but we got what we got. It just is what it is. But every person has their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Emotional management is power. 80-90% of what you see is emotion based, though they keep talking about logic and technicals. But we got to start building the soldiers from the basic, from actually building them to be a functional person, and then able to receive and able to function in the right way. Then we can start talking about financial literacy, education, becoming bilingual, or whatever their actual mission is. But you got to be a functioning person before you can accomplish a mission. A lot of what we're seeing are people who aren't even operating as humans are supposed to operate. Soon there'll be medication thrown into that mix, which social media fries brain cells. So, I mean, you're going to see some things. But final thoughts, anybody who wants to go first? And actually, let me try this thing. I just if this thing works. I'm trying to get that stupid box where you put two people in the middle. I can't.
Yeah, I got to figure that out too, man. I'm old school.
And looks like it didn't work. Looks like this just ain't the box. So
nah, that ain't it.
That ain't it.
But keep practicing. You on your way.
I'll figure it out. Final thoughts. Any volunteers?
Just like Dusto missing the box. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I would just say, man, great conversation. I like the fact that like you ain't scared to highlight like different things that goes against the space. For example, like you was talking about women can be leaders, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, we spend so much time beating up on each other. It's just getting ridiculous. Even though there's like examples of females leading, doing a good job, we still for some reason say they can't do it. So it's just, yeah, I think you're taking on these conversations, you know, bringing them to the forefront, you know, and like I always told you, I'll jump on anytime, man, because we definitely need to have these talks, because it's like eventually everybody want to be with each other. So it's just like, man, the conversations got to start morphing or head into the right direction, where it's like both people are, you know, kind of self-reflecting and building together, because if not, it's just nonsense. But I appreciate you for, like I said, even taking them on and having them, because they ain't the most popular things on YouTube. So
yeah, shout out to the jerk. Where can we find you? I know any moderators, you got Manic Sophistication. If you got their channel, throw it in the chat.
Yeah, I could drop it in there. But yeah,
it is safe for women's and it is dust free for the most part. Manic Sophistication.
No, I appreciate you. Yeah, that's our channel. Like I said, man, I do movie reviews over there, but we also talk about like current topics, because, you know, we try to use that to get to a, you know, subtopics within that situation where, you know, like I think CJ was talking about, you do got to have the entertainment value. So we use like some of those like celebrity situations and different conversations to get to like, I'll say, solutions and, you know, the discussions we should be having. So I'll drop the link in the, like you said, the chat. Yeah, tune in if y'all want to. If not, I understand. People are busy. But like I said again, Scam, appreciate the conversations.
All right, appreciate you. I'm gonna throw you to the back. CJ, 5100 podcast. You're muted. But also put 5100 and Pookie and moderators or CJ yourself, anybody, throw his channel and all his info in the chat. I vouch for his content. What you got, CJ?
Yeah, bro. As far as the future of the space, you know, I've talked about what everybody's done and what's been done right here and what's been done right there or wrong there. For me, what I'm bringing back, what I'm trying to bring to the space is real conversation. And I'm not talking about panels per se. I'm talking about people in my city where I'm at having conversation, touching the people. The last podcast I just dropped was Life After Divorce with a partner of mine that me and him literally got married at the same time, and he got divorced probably 2 years after I got divorced. And we just had a conversation as men, going back through the things that we went through. I think doing things like that is productive, talking in a productive way, not in the aiming at being controversial for the sake of being controversial, but being real, being honest, and honestly trying to be better. I think that could be controversial, but not actually trying to be controversial. Could do some good for the space, could do some good for people that really don't have the leadership, the lessons, because whether we realize it or not, some people are coming to this space to learn something. So if that's the case, then as content creators that want to collect their dollars, collect their views, I think that we have to own that responsibility and don't shy away and pass the buck. It's got to stop with us. So that's it.
Shout out to CJ 5100 Podcast. Hit me up anytime.
For sure, bro.
Appreciate you. Easy Money Jones. What's good?
Yeah, first and foremost, thanks for having me. Apologies for not getting on a little bit earlier. My kids get a little unruly around bedtime, especially my youngest. He don't want to go down, so he want to fight and do all this other stuff. But I'm dad, so I win. I'll say this: being somewhat new to being like in the space, I guess I am now. I think the biggest thing for the space is to really focus on authenticity, because I think that there are people in the space that legitimately want to have good conversations, that have good life experience, that can actually get a point across. And I feel like those voices don't get a chance to get heard. They get drowned out by these 50-50 dates and by all this hypergamy and woe is men and all this other stuff. And one of my things, even though it's troll, but it's troll with a purpose, right? Like, my big thing is pushing for the accountability of men. If we as men say that we are leaders, if we as men say that we've got broad shoulders for a reason, then we shouldn't be on these panels complaining about, well, the women do it too, and you let women do this, you let women do that. You'll never hear me say that in earnest, right? Like, at the end of the day, we're men, we're leaders. There's stuff that we've got to work out within ourselves from an emotional standpoint, from a emotional intelligence standpoint, from a communication standpoint. Like, there's a lot of self-work that goes on. But once you do the work, God, I sound like one of them talking heads. I mean, as you're doing the work and as you're putting yourself into different rooms and elevating in your life, like, you see the purpose of everything that you went through to get you to where you are. So I say all of that to say, I'm going to keep more pressure on y'all. I'm going to push back on y'all. I'm going to force y'all to be men. Okay. And that's it, man. Scam, I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you. Hit me up anytime. Come through at any time.
For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was supposed to be just a quick show. I just wanted to cover a few things on leadership, just open up some minds without debating and battling and all that stuff. Yes, we can have productive conversations. We can agree, disagree, and we can sometimes just keep space open and let you think and feel how you want to feel. It can be like this. Everything ain't got to be a conflict. Everything ain't got to be a competition. But I decided to do it slow and boring and slow and whatever for the reason. And I might change and tune things up or move things a little around a little bit later. But for now, we're just kind of setting the tone and just covering a couple gems and just letting be kind of what it is. But the key components to leadership is this. Let's be real. There's a type of leader that you are or a type of follower that you are. And there's characteristics that you do value yourself. Understand the power of influence. Influence does trump all. If someone can say, do, or whatever to get you to do something that you normally wouldn't do, or the things that you already are doing, and they can make you move, they're at the highest level of leadership over you, even if it's for a temporary point. Influence trumps all. It can move you off your square. It can move you onto a square. So if you yourself want to be a better leader, look at the things that make you more influential. It's going to be communication. It's going to be optimism. It's going to be, some of it, unfortunately, is manipulation. But also understand manipulation. It's good to understand it so you can have a defense against it, know when you are being manipulated. Or you can use a reverse of some of those very tactics and manipulate someone into doing something that's positive, taking them off of the wrong track to get them onto the right track, which technically is influence. Understand that emotions are to be managed. They talk about the emotional logic and all this. If you don't have emotional management yourself, you won't be able to manage the emotions of others. That's a communication thing. Charisma. Everybody has their own fire or their own form of fire. Some people are comedians, some are sensual, some are got a speaking voice. Whatever it is, whatever fire that you got on you, whatever your gift is, be sure to use it, but be able to identify it. I'm growing myself. I'm not here telling you that I'm some kind of king. I'm still growing, but I'm teaching as I'm learning. So whatever you got to do, make sure the people that you're following are going in the right direction. Work on a lot of the basic things, because you won't be an effective leader if you're not an effective, actual functioning human being. Work on your diet, work on your attitude, your mind, your spirit. Work on the people around you, your listening skills, your communication skills, your day-to-day disciplinary habits. Just do what works. Keep working day by day, step by step, and we can actually probably make some changes person by person. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be a struggle. It's not going to be easy, but a lot of things can be accomplished. But let's start with being positive. I'm Scam Likely. Everybody have a good day. Have a good week. And give me a minute because I got to find how to work. I ain't done a show in so long. I got to figure out how to work some of this stuff. But anyway, Dust and Crust. There it is.